Hi everyone, my name is Wawa and this is game number 2 of the finals of the monthly Philippine online tournament of Starcraft 2 hosted by TFDclive. If you guys haven't seen the first match yet, go back to my channel right now and look it up because I am about to say some big spoilers. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the first game was pretty interesting. We saw megsyo trying to go for the contain and trying to hold Def to a one base play, but he did fail and ended up losing the game. And it's pretty disappointing, but still pretty good play by him. Pretty nice try, and we saw some pretty interesting mid game during that game, and it developed to the mid game where we saw some Colossus and Immortals, but the 4 gate build or the gateway build by megsyo didn't work out as he did got taken out by megsyo right now. Maybe a bit of more scouting could have won him the game, but I'm not sure because I'm not a pro, so don't judge me of that. So we see right here megsyo spawning as the pink Protoss one more time here at the 3 o'clock position, and Def here spawning as the red Protoss one more time at the 6 o'clock position. So now we're seeing that their back door is pretty close together to one another, and that air units can easily go to one base to another in like a split second or so. And we could see some void ray harassing or Phoenix harasses from each of these players. We could see some probes here being picked up and being annihilated by some of those phoenixes, or we can see the void rays here just taking out this assimilator, charging it here and just taking out all those probes one by one, piece by piece. As we do see standard opening for megsyo going for the 1 gateway, and then also here for megsyo here, for Def here, I'm sorry, going for the 1 gate opening. As usual, it's pretty standard right now. I'm pretty surprised that they didn't even go for that early expansion build, because it is pretty possible in this map, because right now the walking distance from each other's map is the farthest one, and it's gonna take a while before they each reach each other's base or each other's natural bases. So they're gonna have a pretty some amount of time to prepare for that attack and be able to control it. As we see megsyo here going for his first zealot, and a cybernetic score going down as well for megsyo, and Def here again going to steal that one Vespene geyser of megsyo. So that still means that megsyo is gonna be pretty much contained to one assimilator for at least a minute or so more until he gets to destroy this assimilator by Def. So that means lesser stalkers, at least in the early game, or it's gonna delay his stack a bit more, as we see Def here chrono boosting that warp gate technology here, but still having the 1 gateway, and it's producing currently a stalker and a sentry coming up right now. As we look at the production tab, the 2nd gateway finally going down for Def, and the scouting probe is gonna be back, barely back, almost dying back there. And we see megsyo here trying to control the Sail Naga tower in the middle of the map, which is always good. It is always nice to have vision of at least one of those Sail Naga towers, just to know where your enemy's position is at, or his army unit is at. As we see finally the 2nd gateway for megsyo going down, and finally being able to take that assimilator, well, his 2nd assimilator, and he is also getting the warp gate technology. Pretty typical opening for 2 Protoss players. So this is a 2 gate build right now. They're gonna go for the 4 gate, I'm assuming, but I want to really see something different right now, because they are really spawning close to each other, and I'm pretty surprised that there's no Stargate going down right now. So I guess they're not really comfortable about risking it all for that early harass, and we're just seeing some typical build right now as the robotics facility is going down for Def here, and also for megsyo before that Twilight Council again. So I guess we're gonna see some upgrade plays one more time, maybe some Stalker blinkers one more time, or he might go for something different. But then again, if you think about it, Stalkers and Colossus are still highly favorable in this matchup, because if you let your Colossus or Stalkers blink down here, it can be right here in about 12 seconds. After the blink cools down, it could easily cross this terrain and could easily harass and easily destroy some of these buildings or go for the mineral line. That's a pretty big advantage if you do have that technology. But right now it is still pretty early to tell, and no one's really doing anything right now. As we see the observer here off that going here to Megzyo's base, and those two observers are gonna see each other out, and Megzyo's observer is gonna try to follow that observer by death, and observer of death is gonna be forced to push away. As we see death here gonna move his units over here waiting for that observer to come, but I don't think he's gonna come because Megzyo is pretty aware that that Death is gonna do that, and he's gonna wait for that observer of Megzyo. So right now we are seeing some very standard, very solid openings from both players. So Lost Temple, if you guys haven't played Brood War, it is from the Brood War era or Brood War days. It is easily one of the most famous maps or most played maps in the Brood War, and I have to admit I really enjoy playing that when I was in the Brood War days. As we see Megzyo here blinking down, trying to go for this pylon over here, doing a good job of it, and he's gonna be able to take it out before even Death gonna be replying, and he's not gonna be able to do it. As we see extended thermal lances being researched again for Death. So again, he's going for that colossal build, which is pretty powerful and has worked for him from game 1. So there's no big deal to not go for it again. As we see the stalkers here, Megzyo took out one of those stalkers for Death. So it's a pretty big advantage that he has that observer to have vision. And here we go, the stalkers blinking up to Death's base, gonna take out this pylon and then gonna go to the mineral line. Well, I hope he is, but he is not, and he's gonna try to carefully move back, and he should blink away his stalkers right now, but no. Megzyo's units is trapped in the corner, and he's gonna be taken out. Pylons being pulled out of the line, trying to attack these units, which is, I think, that's a very wrong decision for Death. And those stalkers blinking, trying to get away, but these force fields is gonna be able to hold them in, and they're gonna be trapped right now. Gonna be taking out. Good force fields placed in by Death, and one by one these stalkers are gonna go down. Finally Death catching up to those units, and Megzyo's units here gonna be toasted by this Colossus. They're no match for that Colossus right now, I am pretty sure, and they are taken out. Wow, that's pretty crazy right there. Good force field placement for Death, containing three of those stalkers, and Megzyo just lost control of his units and just let him stand over here and attack this probe line one by one, but it really didn't do anything. But I guess Death's biggest mistake right there is that he let his probe attack all of those stalkers, so he lost some of the minerals over there too. As we see this Colossus here reaching up to the high ground, zapping those units of Megzyo and trying to blink in, blink out one more time, and Megzyo here taking out this pylon with the extended thermal lens of that Colossus. That's how powerful that Colossus is. Just imagine how much range that is. 9 range. Wow, that's pretty incredible. That's pretty far. I think that's the longest range of any unit that Starcraft 2 has. It is always a good unit to have. And we see right here Megzyo again going for that observer. I'm pretty surprised he's not going for a Colossus himself, because right now that's what's eating him and killing him and breaking him apart. As we see gateway here, an empowered one being made by Megzyo. So one more time we are seeing this gateway build by Megzyo. Right now he has 7, make that 6 gateways, and Death here gonna build a proxy pylon here in the middle of the map, so he could easily call for backup whenever he's in trouble or whenever he needs it. But on the other hand, warping in units should be really thought about before warping it in, as we see a proxy pylon also here going down by death. It is gonna be seen by megsyo though, so it's not gonna be effective as it is gonna be left alone by megsyo. What? Oh no. Megsyo here is being pushed one more time by this Colossus. It is about to take out this warp gate over here, but no, almost taking it out by megsyo. Pretty close one, as that proxy pylon really did survive that attack, and we see one zealot being warped in here, but 3 zealot then again combined for megsyo being warped in, so it's gonna be easily taken out by megsyo. But let's see if this zealot can take out this one. No, not even. And that proxy pylon did go down to those 3 zealots. But right now, I can say that Dev here has a pretty big advantage. Let's look at the income tab, as we see megsyo actually has more harvesters. Well, not that much more, just because Dev here isn't really mining in this natural